Hey, it's Kevin DeWitt here. Welcome back to the Mixing in a Home Music Studio course. In this video, we're going to talk about applying effects. So firstly, if you're new to my channel, new to my videos, and you like what you see, click the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos. So applying effects, this is another massive topic, right? So we are not gonna even scratch the surface of all the potential things we can do with applying effects in this video. But what we're gonna do, obviously, this is all about mixing my song, okay? So I am going to do as many suitable effects as I can that make sense to give you an idea of what can be done on a song. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be picking effects that are appropriate to my song, okay? But there's many other effects that can do, that you can add to your song and do things. But hopefully, you'll have learnt enough at this stage, or by the end of the course, that you'll feel confident to try out things and apply different effects and try different effects, right? So there's many ways to do effects, right? Effects come in the shape of, we're going to have some standard ones, right? So we're going to have your reverbs, your delay, right? That's pretty much a given, right? They're on every mix. There's probably never a case that you're not going to have reverb and or delay, right? It's just the way it goes. We've got things like compression, which we've done. That's technically could be an effect, but we've done that more in our mixing stuff, but we may add some more. You can add things like distortions. You can add weird effects, or even just your modulation style effects, flanges, choruses, phases. All of this sort of stuff can be added at this stage here, right? And you can add lots of different delays, lots of different reverbs, whatever is going to sell. Now, obviously, as a mix engineer, you're gonna, especially if you're new, you're gonna get excited by these plugins and you're gonna wanna throw things on and, oh man, that sounds great. At the end of the day, sometimes we can go a little bit overboard. So we need to be aware of that and just be careful, right? So you don't want to add effects for the sake of adding effects. You want to add effects because they're going to make the song sound better and they're going to sell the story, okay? There's specific songs out there. I'm not going to name names at this stage, but there's songs out there that have a very atmosphere, They might be trying to sell some sort of story and they wash the entire thing with massive amount of reverb. Or you may have angry, heavy songs which have very little reverb because it makes them sound, angrier sort of thing. Or, you want to fill in lines between vocal tracks or little gaps, and to do that, add a delay effect so that the vocal has a bit of a trail on, gives the singer a break from telling the story and singing lines, but doesn't leave massive empty holes, right? There's all the sort of stuff you can do like that. So we're going to use a few of those things in the mix here. I'm not sure how many until we actually go and do it. But, as I said, there's going to be, it's like an endless supply of effects that you can get to put in your mix. But we'll show the techniques anyway, and, you can use these techniques for any effect. Just go out there and try it and see what you can do in your song. So let's just get into it and I'll show you what we do on my song. All right, so let's start looking at doing some effects here. All right, what I'm going to start with is just some fundamental basic ones for what I would do in a mix. And what I want to do straight away is I like to place everything in sort of a room as if it gives you this sense and feeling as if everything's been recorded together at the same time. So what I'll usually do is put a room reverb, which I've got a track here. We did this in the preparation. It's under the effects bus. And we're going to put a room reverb. Now, we're going to stick with our Steinberg stuff. So we're just going to go with, let's see, let's just keep it simple. and see if we can find some sort of little sort of room type effect. We won't go into too much, be too pedantic about it. What the hell is rumor? Don't know what that is. Alright, so let's just start with, I don't know, let's pick one of the instruments. I'm going to shrink that down, and I'm going to open the sends. Well, we've already got the sends open. Alright, and what I'm going to do is we're going to send that to the room reverb. Now let's just solo that for a second, because we're going to exaggerate it so I can hear it. Okay, let's just do that. Just make sure. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's put that actually on the snare. Okay, we need 100% for a start. You know what? I'm not happy with the controls on that. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to switch this. We're going to go to the full one, just so I can see the controls, because I don't like not seeing the full controls. All right, let's open the send again. Okay, let's get room up again. Did they have the same one, or do they have different ones? They have different ones. Okay, let's just pick. Maybe they got something more appropriate. Hard room double. Kitchen. What about smooth? Okay, so what we're going to do is, yeah, take some of the low end out. That's fine. Dull it down a bit, not that much. It's a very long room. Yeah. Well, let's just turn the wet only on. Right. Okay. So we've got a bit of room there. Let's see what this sounds like on this. All right. Now what we want to do is get sort of just enough level. try it with a snare. Okay, so we don't want a massive amount. We just want just enough. Doesn't smear the whole thing, but it still sounds pretty good. Okay, so because these have got P drums on them, if we copy the whole thing, it copies everything, but that's fine. We can do that. We'll do that. Now this one here, I'll copy because I don't want that. I'm not going to put the room on the room. Yeah, we'll put it on there. Okay, now we want to keep going. Right, I'm not sure why. Actually, we don't want it on there. We want it on here. So we'll put that there. So we're even putting it on the bass, right? So, and everyone goes, "Oh, don't put that on the bass. Don't put reverb on your bass." But if you had a bass guitar in a room with an amp, then you are going to get reverb on it. It's just the way it goes. I don't know why we have all these other ones, though. I must have copied something that kept those there. But anyway, we'll ignore those. They're turned off anyway. Okay, let's, what else have we got? E-bass. Let's copy that there, but then take that off. You know what? I'm not going to ignore it. Let's take it off because it's just annoying me. Now, is it just because it's so narrow? Okay, whatever. Right, take those off and we'll put that on the V bass. Now, again, we've got acoustic here. All right, so we're just going to put this on everything. Because as I said, this is my idea of having it simulate everything in the same room. And I mean literally everything. Now, imagine if I was doing this and I put the physical reverb plugin on every track. This project would be so overloaded and potentially have so much processing power required on the CPU. It would just stutter and be horrible. Okay, we'll do that, and then we actually have a BGV, so we'll do that, and then we don't do anything else, and we don't do the buses, right? Because we already got this coming to the bus. So this is what, if I take the solo off, we can see we've got the whole instruments sort of coming through there. So that's where they're gone. Now you could just hear it sort of, it just, you know, it expanded a little bit. The stereo width of it came out a little bit. And it's like it lifted up in sort of tiny bit of excitement, a tiny bit of life. It's really weird to explain. But it also tries to put everything together in the same room, as I keep saying. So we're going to say with that, I'm happy with that, right? It's subtle. It doesn't sound like there's an effect on there, but there is. If you listen closely, you can sort of hear something happen, but you just don't know what. And that's the beauty of sometimes reverb. If you do it right, it doesn't draw your attention to it, but you just feel it. You know it's there. But you know, you can't put your finger on it. You don't exactly know what it is. Okay, so what else do we do? I mean, there's so many other things we can do with applying effects. So what we might want to do is add even more reverb for other elements. So let's see what we think. Like, the drums are pretty good, I think. I don't think they got enough of their own reverb. I'm happy with it. Now, what is it like when we say get to the electronic? So what we could do is, you know, we could use these effects. So for instance, I mean, look, we could preload these. So we could say, okay, I want, and we'll use the same, we should use the same reverb because we are pretty limited with the reverbs we have in Steinberg, but we'll do it. And then we're going to look for something that has a plate in it. And these are just different sounding reverbs. And bright, thin, I'm going to go vintage. We'll check out what it sounds like in a minute, but we'll leave that open for now. And then we had this one listed as a whole, so let's just preemptively get that going. And now you can tweak all the settings here as you like, right? You want to get it to sound the way you want it to. Do we want dark, cathedral? Don't know what Los Angeles is. Churchill. Well, let's try the Los Angeles one. I don't know what it sounds like. And what else do we have? What was the last one? I think it was like a spring. Do they have a spring sounding reverb? Spring's a little bit trickier to simulate. They may not have one. Okay, let's just leave that out for the moment. All right, we'll see if we need one, and then we'll deal with that later. So what were we after here? Okay, so it's that one there. Shrink that. Okay, I'm trying to keep these all open and I can't see what the heck I'm doing. I actually shrank that. That's why I couldn't see what I was doing. All right, so we might want to say, okay, so let's check this out. Let's put the plate in. Okay, the only problem I have with Cubase sometimes is that it won't enable. Oh, well, that was a delay effects. Okay, we'll do that later. Yeah, it won't, unless I unsolo and re-solo. If I don't have this turned on, it won't solo it. All right, let's open that. Okay, vintage plate. Geez, that's got a lot of pre-delay. That's why it almost sounds like an echo. All right, we want to go wet only. Prefer that actually, but I'm going to lower the pre-delay. Okay, so we're going to say that's pretty good. I'm not saying that's what I'm leaving in the mix. I'm just saying that I'm going to leave that as our plate sound. Why does it keep shrinking that? I must be clicking something I shouldn't be. Actually, I didn't want that there. I want it here. So we're going to turn that off. Let's turn that on. Okay, so that's huge. All right. So what do we want to do with this drums? Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of plate. See what it sounds like in the mix. What was the other element I was thinking of? That one. Oh, we need that too, don't we? I want that one quite big. Let's take that away. Okay, let's see what that sounds like when it's not soloed. We should have done that. Wondering if that would sound better also for the hats. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. That sounds good. All right, so I don't think we need... Let's just run through. So the drums are pretty good. I'm happy with the drums. Now the bass... Our normal bass, we don't need anything. Just the room bass is enough. But what about here? What have we got? Okay, I wonder if we could add a bit extra hall on that because it's already got. Yeah, hang on. Oh, that's got some length on that one, hasn't it? Okay. I sort of like that as well. I think that's... It could be a bit much. Let's take it down a little bit. What about this one? Actually wondering about the plate on that one. A bit brighter. Unfortunately, I gotta take the bloody... Nah, don't like that. Okay, I'll stick to dry on that one. Okay, what else? Percussion. Percussion I want to leave pretty dry. Let's go back here. Yeah, that's shockingly dry. All right, what's gonna sound better on this one? Now, sometimes I also have a combination of both. So, okay, so that's that main bit. That definitely sounds like a hall. Be a bit much, hang on. Okay, that sounds good. There's a couple of things. Right, this sample. I can really hear the sample having hall. Did that work? Oh, wrong one. Let's get a bit closer. Yeah. Yeah, that's heaps better. Now, what about these bits? Yeah, could do with a little bit, not too much. Wonder, let's try the plate on that one. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I think that works. It's a little bit. So it doesn't sound as abrupt stopping, but it's not over the top. That doesn't need it because it's very, it has its own sort of winding out element anyway. Now the orchestra stuff does, that's going to need something. Yeah, it definitely needs something for the orchestra. I'm more thinking hall for this one. It's just how much is the question. So I might switch over to this view so I can do both at the same time. So I'll put the hole in there as well. Now, I think that's way too much, but let's go up first. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like that atmosphere. That actually gives it a good, yeah, a really good sense that. Now, here's the tricky part, the guitars. Hang on. Let's put both on. Turn them both on so that when I solo, I was going to say, why is my left ear gone? But that's because we are only looking at the left. We should have had this one here as well. But let's listen to this first. Hang on. I'm thinking the whole just subtle. Okay, let's see how that works. Get rid of that one. And I'm starting to really think that this hole just needs to be on everything. Okay, now. So everything else is a lead guitar, is that right? In there. Okay, let's take the leads out. Let's just concentrate on the rhythms. I'm actually going to leave those dry, those distorted guitars. Okay, so really, the thing is that it's one of those things you think, okay, I should be putting effects on everything. I should be doing all of this stuff. But really, the sounds we've got are what I wanted. And all of the rhythm instrumentation I'm happy with just having the extra reverb stuff on there. Probably what we need to do now is look at the lead parts, which maybe that's where we'll start getting a little bit more. But even then, we're still not going to do too much. What I think I'm going to do is set up Let's set up a delay because I'm more likely to go and use a delay. Whoop. On the lead stuff. I mean, there's so many other effects you could use, but it's sort of like, well, okay, if my song doesn't need it, I'm not going to do it just for the sake of doing it, because that just seems strange. So we could go with a stereo delay. Yeah, we could pick up just any sort of, what's a guitar answer? Well, we have to actually send to it. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? So let's go and send to our delay. Okay. Now what we need is a full mix. We definitely don't want that. Ping pong. Now, obviously that doesn't sound good. Okay. The repeats are a little bit too long. Yeah, let's bring this back. Let's bring it back over here. Shrink this down. Feedback is too long. A little bit less. All right, let's put a high filter on. All right, let's see what that sounds like in the mix. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. So that works. All right. So what's our next part? This one here. All right, let's listen to this. Now, just one thing to keep in mind, right? We're going to do some effects now. There may be some stuff I'll add later as a part of automation or a part of interest, all right? So don't think that this is necessarily the end of the effects, because we may come back, because I'm starting to hear bits potentially in this part there where it stops, where we may do a special delay that just repeats in those stops or something like that, which we want to automate. So it's maybe something I'm not going to do right now, but we'll come back later and do it. Right, so what do we want something here. It's very dry. I mean, we could attempt to just copy. Actually, why did I put it on the wrong one. Hang on. Let's get rid of that one. All right, you know what? Let's do something different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate that. Just going to call it delay effects 2. Okay, now what other options do we have? Thing is, I've got plenty of delays here, but I'm trying to stick to Steinberg delays. The heck is a mod machine? Okay. Let's we'll come back, close that down. We'll come back to that. All right, let's find. I'm assuming it's 3 and 4. All right, so we'll put that on there. We'll have it up. I might just turn it up a bit just to be silly. Hang on, we still had that on. I didn't want that on. Now, I really wish they had a feature that could just lock the wet control, because it's... Yeah, I really want... Okay, I disagree with that saying nice wide. Sterilize? What does that mean? No. Okay, we need something a bit more drastic. Roads beneath the waves? What the hell? And the highs are a little bit obnoxious. Okay. I said weird. Yeah, you got it. What we do need to do, though, is just back off a little bit, because that is really too loud. We want it to be there, but a little bit subtle. See, that's where automation would come in handy if it just stopped at one spot there. But we can fix that later. I actually like that. Okay. Sometimes it's just weird how things just work. And it's just, you surprise yourself sometimes. Right. So what we now have, we have two parts left. We have this part and this part. Let's jump over here. Okay, I hear that one being the same as these guys. I do hear that. Let's see. Roll down a bit. Way too much. Okay, I hear that. I think there's a good chance I've overdone all of the reverb in this and got carried away. It actually happens quite common. A lot of people actually do overdo it. Right, let's see this part. Definitely hear the fall on that one. Whether we have a delay, I don't know yet. Because it's very fast. It probably doesn't need a delay. But I do hear the Hall effect. Maybe even more than normal. Okay, let's do something different again. So let's duplicate that, but what we'll call this one, we'll go for a mod effects. And what I'm going to do is we will put on, maybe it's just in here, effects. Okay, what do we want? We could go for something like a phaser. We could try a phaser. I have no idea what any of these are going to sound like. So let's just get that up there. Okay, let's switch over to here. And let's add that. Let's turn it on. Not quite. Phasing power chords. Wonder what that sounds like. It's actually not bad. Let's drop the highs. Make it a bit darker. All right. Now, I don't know how loud we need it. Okay, that works. Nice little bit of phaser on the guitar there, just to add a little bit of difference. Right, so we're good with that one. Let's just have a look. Now, I do have all the effects going to a bus, which we can quickly bring in and out. What we will do is, let's just put the tube effect on for the sake of it. Just consistency. Okay, all right, we've got that. Now, what we don't have is our vocals, because that's where we always come in with the, are we doing the vocals or are we doing the guitar? That's the tricky part. So we need to do them. So we're going to mute the lead guitar in that part. Right. And then let's bring in now we're going to stick with a similar approach here. Now what I normally do with a vocal is I will normally add multiple. So let's just mute those actually for now. I mean, that definitely works. You could add delay on there if you really want. I mean, we can do that. I don't know which one you would do if you were going to do it. I will quite often, let's do it from here so I can see a bit better. We might back off a little bit on these. Now that T at the start, I'm probably going to automate that down in volume because it is way too loud and it's annoying me. And the DS is not grabbing it enough. But I don't want to overdo the de-esser. So hopefully I'll remember to do it, but I'm going to mention it here while I think of it now, that if I remember, I will automate the volume of that T down because it's really annoying. Okay. Now let's bring in the BGVs. Well, actually, let's take out the Vox first. Okay, now I don't want that, but we want the rest. Let's just copy the whole thing over. Let's get rid of that. Now, I don't want the delay. Yeah, that's a bit over the top, isn't it? Now, you could also do like a similar haul, but you could make it darker or brighter or do something different with it, you know, whatever you feel that you think you know, like to do. But I'm going to keep this pretty simple because, look, I'm not going to go with the vocal anyway, but. Now, obviously, I've gone with a very atmospheric sound here, probably mainly because I don't like my own singing and my voice. So I guess I'm almost trying to cover it up and hide it a bit, which is unfortunate. You may do something entirely different, and I suggest you do. But you got to find what suits the song too. Sometimes having a very dry vocal works, and sometimes having a very, you know, atmospheric wet vocal, which is what I've sort of gone for here. So I'm sort of, I feel I'm happy with it. I am concerned I've overdone it. I will admit that. What we're going to do, I'm going to mute the effects bus. So this is what it was before. Sorry, this is really annoying my eyes. I want to take that away. So you can hear, even just, as soon as if you want to hear how big and impactful your effects are, just stop the audio and you'll hear the trails, you'll hear everything, right? So you can hear how dry that is. There's nothing. So this is what we had before the effects. All right, now I'll play it dry for a little bit and then bring it in. Now, we could also do this. It's a game to play alone. So we could just adjust the level of the effects bus instead of going, oh, geez, I went over the top. Let's go and tune all of those sends. Let's turn all of those effects down. You could just do it from here. You could also turn the faders down on each one of these individually. If you say, okay, well, I like the reverbs, but these delays are a little bit too loud across the board, I'm going to turn that down. And you could just turn the fader down on these, right? So you've got setting your structure up this way, where you've got sends that you can, so, you know, if you just want to adjust one individual track, you turn the send down. If you want to adjust one overall effect that's applied to many things, then turn down a fader here. If you want to turn down, like you like the balance, but you think you overdid all the effects, then turn down the effects bus, right? And that you've got that ability because we've structured it this way. If we had just had our effects going straight to the main output, or the effects were placed on the tracks individually, you sort of lose a lot of that control. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to put the vocals back on mute. Whoops. Yeah, get that back. All right, they're back on mute. So we're back to being the electric guitars again. So here we go. All right, this is what we've got dry. Let's go from there. So there you go, that is how I applied effects on my song. You know, at the end of the mix we may come back and take some off, put some more on, whatever. You know, that's the thing with mixing, is sometimes you make some decisions at a certain point in your mix, but then you may come back and change them. You know, I've done that many a times where I've added more effects and I've added other things, or I've changed this because I didn't like that delay effect. I thought it sounded good at the start, but you know, further down through the mix I found it was getting in the way of some other element or something like that. So you know, that is one thing to keep in mind with mixing, right? It is not necessarily a linear process. I'm trying to teach this course in a linear process because that's how courses are. But with mixing, it can be a very scattered approach, right? You can attempt to start off doing things slightly linear, but at the end of the day, you're going to start going backwards, forwards, and around in circles and back, and until you get to a point where everything is like rock solid together and you are happy, and then it just, you stop, right? That can be it, right? It's simple as that. So, you know, as much as this course is linear, mixing is never linear, right? It is just a mishmash of doing what needs to be done to get to where you want to go, basically. So, yeah, hopefully you liked what I did anyway, but if you do have any feedback or you want to let me know, put it in the comments. Or if you have any questions, or you didn't understand something, or I didn't explain something properly, or need to further clarify something, please put it in the comments. If you have questions about your specific song, you know, feel free to do that as well. Obviously I can't hear your song, so any answers I give are going to be fairly generic and maybe hopefully will guide you in the right direction, but I can't give you very specifics. But you know, do put it in the comments anyway, because if I can't help, somebody else may, and we'll see how we go, and hopefully get you to progress and learn what you need to learn out of this course. May also result in potential follow-up videos later that I need to create, because there's something I just didn't cover and we need to go over it in a bit more detail. You know, we'll find that out when we get the questions and see how everybody gets what they get out of this course. So if you did like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.